Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It is hump day, y'all. We are this close to the weekend. I hope you guys are having a great day. While you are here, you know what I'm gonna say. Go ahead and show your girl some love by liking the video and hitting subscribe if you are feeling the vibe. Those looking for remote work, post remote work on my personal channel weekly. I just posted 5 jobs that are hiring for the week. 2 of those include United Health Group. There is a training date for November 10th or 17th. They said so that means they're going to either put you in the training class from November 10th or November 17th. But 5 different jobs I have posted on my personal channel. I will link that in the comments below. Okay. So today we are, as usual, back on the witchcraft slash spooky slash spell story times. Okay, this is gonna be love spells gone terribly wrong, love spells backfire. We'll see what I put on the thumbnail, but y'all get the gist of it. Okay, y'all know we talk about this. Do not do no love spells. Like, I think that's one of the worst spells you can do, is a love spell, because it's so dangerous for both parties involved. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna let y'all get right into it. Remember, if there was any cursing, which I don't think there's any cursing in this compilation, but if there is any cursing, I have done editing. If anytime you want to look at the videos yourself, I know some people have asked about that. I always include the TikTok's handle on the bottom left. So as soon as you see the video play, you will see a name on the bottom left of the screen. All you have to do is go on TikTok, put in that name, and it will give you their page of content. Okay, so I always include that to give credit to them. Okay, so without further ado, go ahead and watch, and then we will be back to discuss this, because you know we got to talk about it.
These are the consequences of doing a love spell on a person. I came across the story on here. It was actually in Spanish, so I'm gonna go ahead and translate it to English, and I'll tag the original creator down here. So Gloria has been practicing witchcraft for the past 5 years, so much so that she has become very well known around her neighborhood, and she has a ton of clients. One day she was having a birthday party at her house, so she invited a bunch of her friends and a bunch of her close neighbors. When she sees a girl that she didn't recognize enter her home, she assumed that this was probably one of her friends who had invited another friend. The girl goes up to her, introduces herself as Peggy, and tells Gloria that she needs her help, that she has fallen madly in love with this man that wants absolutely nothing to do with her. Gloria advised her against it and told her about all the consequences that come from love spells, that you can't mess with someone's free will. Peggy said that she didn't care, that whatever the consequences were, that she was willing to deal with it. The next day, Peggy went to Gloria's house, and Peggy handed her a jar. In this jar, there was this white powder. Peggy told her to take a very small amount out of the jar and to add it to one of his alcoholic drinks. And to also do it on a Friday, because apparently Fridays are the most strongest days to do this stuff. That Friday, Peggy ended up having a huge party at her house where she invited just about everyone, including the boy and Gloria. As the party was going, everybody was dancing, singing, having a great time. Peggy starts getting a bunch of drinks ready for her friends. Gloria notices that Peggy takes one of the drinks and puts it to the side. She then opens the jar that she had in her pocket, and she dumps all of the powder in the drink. Gloria right away runs over to Peggy and tells her, "That is too much. I told you to only give him a small amount. You have no idea the consequences that this is gonna create." Peggy then snaps at Gloria and tells her to mind her business, that this had nothing to do with her, that she already paid her for her work, and that whatever happens now, to just back off. Gloria pretty much wiped her hands clean and left it at that. The minute this guy took a sip of the drink, it was almost out of a movie scene. He became completely head over heels in love with Peggy and could not keep his hands off of her. The whole night they were just making out and all over each other. A few weeks go by and Peggy gives Gloria a call and tells her, "Hey, what you gave me worked amazing, but I no longer want to be with him. He has become way too obsessive, very toxico, to the point that he's even jealous of my own brothers. I wanted him, but not like this. I no longer want to be with him." Gloria told her there's nothing that she can do about it, that when she tried to interfere, that she had told her to mind her business, so that's exactly what she was gonna do. Weeks go by and Gloria ends up receiving news that literally chilled her to the bone. Apparently, Peggy had broken up with the guy, and when she did so, the guy became so insane that he drove his bike right off of a bridge, unaliving himself. All because of that spell. A month later, Peggy calls her terrified, crying her heart out, begging Gloria for help. She told her that after the boy had passed away, that she continues to see him in the home, that he wakes her up at night, that she hears his voice, that he still is around at all times, that even after he passed away, he continues to be obsessed over her, even after death.
I want another love spell story because I'm on a roll today. Somebody just submitted this one to me and this one is good. I can't believe you guys are this unhinged. Let's get into the story time. This one is T. We're gonna call this guy Andre. Andre was the one who submitted this story to me, and Andre's Jamaican. So Andre was in a relationship with this girl and they had a very tumultuous relationship. That means for whatever reason the relationship was always toxic. It seemed like they were always getting together and breaking up, getting together and breaking up. Until one day Andre was like, I really cannot take this no more. I really want out of this relationship. I want nothing to do with this. He said that a couple months went by and one day he just felt the urge to just get back together with the girl, so he did. He said that he would later find out that this girl was into some dark shit. Unbeknownst to him, this girl had other plans. She was tired of the back and forth. So after they got back together, Andre said that they always had like a super close best friend relationship where they could tell each other anything. So one day as a joke, she winds up saying something along the lines of, you know, for a second there, I was scared. I didn't think my stuff was working. I didn't think it worked. I didn't think I was going to get you back. So then Andre asked her, like, what do you mean by that? And she said, as a joke, what if I did Obia on you and that's why you're here? As a joke, though. They both laughed about it and moved on. He also mentioned that upon them getting back together, she was really, really pushy in terms of sex. He said that he was never the type of dude to run a red light, okay? But one day, during that time of the month for his girl, she really wanted to do it. And she convinced him, and they did it. Keep in mind that this girl had already met Andre's parents, and Andre mentioned that his mother never liked his girlfriend. But you know, Jamaican parents are hard to please. One day, the mom came up to him and said, son, I had a dream. Like, I really don't like that girl enough. I had a dream that your grandmother came to me and told me that she was working Obia on you. Do what you want with that information, but I don't think you should stay with her. Andre is a spiritual dude. Andre's a spiritual dude, but he's like, Obia? I don't know. So he decides to go home and he sat his girlfriend down and started by saying, I know what you've been doing to me, just to see if she would say anything. He said that my mother came up to me and said that she had a dream and went on to tell her what the mother's dream was. And he said, well, does that sound familiar? And homegirl would say, okay, so now here's the tea. She said during one of their back and forth, she said that, well, she read somewhere that blood is a very powerful ingredient to binding. And mirrors are also very powerful magic tools. So she thought, why don't I just combine both? She said that one day, she missed him so much that she wrote his name in blood in the mirror and she stood in front of it and summoned him. She was also saying affirmation like, you're obsessed with me, you want me, you love me, you can't leave me alone. She said she didn't think it would work because she had only did it once and it took him a while to get to her, to get back together with her. And she also brought up that time that they did it while she was on her. He said he was utterly disgusted that she would even do something like that. He said he left. He said he did a cleanse on one of the beaches. He wore all white and then walked into the water, dunked his head to try to cleanse himself and get rid of her energy or her spirit around. Well, he successfully stayed away from her. But she, on the other hand, cannot leave that man alone. He says that this girl is literally obsessed with him, like showing up to his house, obsessed with him, get cussed out by his family and still comes back because she wants the man that bad. She told him that if he doesn't get back together with her, that she will unalive herself. And she attempted. Her family found her, took her to the hospital. And when she came back home from the hospital, guess who was the first person she went to go see? Andre. And Andre says that it's gotten to the point where she done fought his mama. It's gotten to the point where she done fought his mama, his sister, his cousin. She done got jumped. And that girl don't care. She want that man. He says that she doesn't present as a physical threat to him, but he's definitely afraid for the ladies around him because she has also showed up to his dates, sat on top of his car and refused to get off the car because he was with another woman. And yeah, now he's thinking about moving because he cannot get rid of her. And the craziest thing is he didn't do nothing. She was trying to get him to be obsessed with her, but some way, somehow, I never heard this before, but a Uno reverse happened and she winded up being the obsessed one. Golly, that was a good one. Thank you, Andre. I really do wish you the best. If you guys wish to submit your stories, be sure to submit them at submitalienstories@gmail.com. And if they're really interesting, then I'll tell them. I have so many more story times available on my YouTube channel, so make sure you guys go on over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you scroll up to the top of my TikTok page, you see where it says Instagram. If you click on that, both my Instagram link and YouTube link will pop up. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel and go follow me on Instagram, since they are banning this app September 9th, 2024. Thank you, abducted aliens. Please, guys, do better.
Hey guys, so I was scrolling down my Instagram and I actually seen a story that a girl was telling that actually made me want to tell my own. She was telling this story about how she discovered that her son's father was a warlock. I actually accidentally messed with a warlock one time a few years ago when I was younger, not knowing what situation I was walking myself into. I had basically met this person on Instagram, talked to them for a little bit, and then actually pulled up on them. When I was in this individual's house, while sitting in their room and looking around, because I'm a very observant person, I seen Santa Muerte statues everywhere. There was candles. At the time, I still wasn't very familiar with spirituality. I wasn't as knowledgeable as I was to spirituality and witchcraft as I am today. Basically, he was partaking in everything that had to do with Santeria. He practiced Wicca. He actually had a picture of him practicing Wicca on his page that said Wicca is the only way. But basically, I took a shower at his house. He provided me a towel and a soap bar, which is the worst thing he could have done. Because I assumed that he actually turned around and used that same soap bar to light a candle on me. So listen to this. This is how we get to the candle part. I get out of the shower, go back to his room. Throughout the few days that I was staying there, like about 2 or 3 days or so, he was always in and out the room. He would go in and out the room, speak with his mother, which is the one that he would practice Wicca with. And this one particular time, he happened to disappear for a while, and I'm like, where does Ninja at? So before you know, he comes back with a red candle lit, places it in front of that Santa Muerte statue where he has his little altar set up on his dresser, and says, I just lit a candle for you. And I'm like, not understanding that this man is serious, and this is the chain of events that's really going on in front of me right now. I'm thinking that he's joking, because who would come and tell you that they just lit a candle on you and then set it right in front of you? But before you know it, I left that man's house, and for 2 weeks after the fact, actually, I began to feel that love spell to the point where I couldn't get him off my head. He was making me go crazy in certain ways. But it got to a point where I started to recognize that this is something beyond me. And then I remember the fact that he specifically walked into the room with the candle lit and said that he lit a candle on me. Taking into consideration that now I understand the fact that he's a warlock and all the feelings that I'm starting to feel after I leave out of his house, I'm now understanding that this is something more spiritual. So it gets to a point where I call him out on it. He denies everything. Oh, you're crazy. You're just crazy. Oh, I just said I was just playing around. No, you weren't playing around. Nobody plays like that. I continued to get on him about it the more that he denied it, and it got to a point where I'm like, you know what? Because the person that I used to be back in the day, I was in the streets. So I just made it very simple for him in the sense that it's like, all right, I know what you did. You specifically told me what you did, and now I'm going to give you 24 hours to undo what you did, or I'm going to have my brother come beat you up. It's just that simple. Literally, that's exactly what I told him. And on that same night, I had a dream where that entire spell was just completely washed off of me. It's been so long now that I can't even exactly remember the chain of events that occurred in the dream, but I just know that on that same night, it was like somebody came to me in a dream, and it was just like I was just completely cleansed of whatever he had put on me. And the next day, I woke up completely feeling like myself again. And till this day, he actually watches me and tries to talk to me as if he don't know what he did, and as if I don't know what he did, but he knows that I know what he did. But he continues to act like, I say that to say, ladies, we got to be careful with the men that we give our energy and attention to, because you never know what an individual practices until you end up behind closed doors with them. And at that point, it might ultimately be too late. By the grace of God, nothing is ever too late because He has grace and He has forgiveness. So luckily I was spared from that. But that was a situation that I wouldn't wish on anybody. I've never went out of my way to light a candle on anybody to keep them closer, to draw them closer to me in spirit. I believe that is absolutely ridiculous. And not only that, but when you have a certain light about you, that man knows that I walk in faith. He knows I am a woman of God. He knows I have always had a particular light about me. When you are chosen, when you are called, people see that.
So I recently had a session with one of my clients, and she asked me, if somebody was doing witchcraft on her or trying to do witchcraft on her. And I was like, we can connect and we'll go in and we'll check. We'll ask Spirit to show us what's going on. And I've had people ask me before and the answer was no. So we go in there, we check. It turns out that someone that she had recently been dating was trying to put a love spell on her. The thing is the reason she was feeling, she's very intuitive, and the reason why she was feeling like somebody was doing something to her was because they were definitely trying. So we went in and we got to see what this person had attempted to do to her, which actually ended up backfiring and caused them to be extremely obsessed with her. So what she was feeling, the reason why she was like thinking someone was doing something to her was because this person was pulling on her energy, constantly pulling, because the love spell that they tried to do for some reason didn't work. Well, we know the reason, but it didn't work and it backfired, which made this person extremely obsessed with my client. So Spirit took us in and showed us how to dissolve everything and kind of energetically did some energy work to reverse what was attempted on her, because now this person was like very stalkerish and very obsessed with my client. So what did we learn? When love spells go wrong, you may be the one that becomes obsessed.
Okay, y'all, so I was sitting here just looking over the TikTok stuff and seeing all this hoodoo and love spell stuff, and y'all, it's for real. I'm gonna tell y'all this story about my friend. She was my really, really, really close friend. We're just gonna call her Misha or whatever. Me and Misha been friends for about 9 years, baby. Long time. So me personally, I don't dib and dab with that stuff because my mama is a minister, my grandma is a minister. I'm deeply rooted in church and basically Christianity. That's me. So my friend was crazy, crazy delulu, heads over heel in love with this dude. He had a girlfriend, which happens to be his baby mama. But I'm guessing they probably, I ain't gonna say they didn't feel the same way, because I'm sure, he loved her too. You know how they go. But anyway, so she had made a post. She shared a post in reference to that little love triangle situation she was in. So this palm reader or psychic or whatever, she commented on the post and she was just contact me. I have this spell that I know will work, whatever. So she called me. She was telling me about it. I said, well, you know what? To be honest, I said, I've seen a lot of TikToks and I've also seen, stuff about it. I said, but I've seen people getting unalive, bad side effects from it. So I was I just personally, wouldn't trust it. So anyway, she ended up contacting the I said the psychic reader or whatever. So they converse over about a week. We can have video chats on Facebook, stuff like that. So she was well, yeah, she told me, I told her that I didn't want nobody dying or unaliving or, getting hurt or anything like that. And she was the lady was it basically just depends on, what spell you use, the spell you put in the air. She was not all cases stuff happen that way. Whatever. So, she ended up sending her $350, I believe, some price around that range or whatever. She mailed them off I think it's toothbrush and a dread. He had dreads and a hair sample, I would say. So, about 2 weeks went by. I started asking her, I was like, well, have anything changed? You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, I'm pushing myself back because if, he get done live and I don't want to be in connection. So, I'm just, giving her the little distance or whatever. So I'm asking her, I'm like, well, anything changing? So she was like, he called more. Keep in mind, one time, he was barely answering the phone in 1 hour when she called, to the point where he was calling her. He went from calling her like 3 times an hour to like 6-7 times in 1 hour. Like, he went to showing up to bars and places we go out at, basically getting her, making her leave, and stuff like that. So, I, text and check on her. She'd be like, we sleep. So I was like, okay, it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, sometimes you need that little nap, so they sleep. Okay. So, I noticed a pattern. Probably about, maybe, I noted this like 2 weeks straight. I would ask her, what you doing? This would be like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She'd be texting me back 7 o'clock, just waking up. I'm like, oh, you got company? Yeah, we been sleep. He still sleep. So, about that 3rd week, I'm like, are you pregnant? You sleeping, a real whole lot. He's sleeping a lot too. Like, y'all barely even getting up. So she was like, I don't know. Like, she was like, I don't know what it is. She was like, I get up, brush my teeth, wash my face. She was like, it's like, I'm back sleep. She was like, I don't know. She was like, I'm literally just keep sleeping. So I'm like, did he get up and do anything? She literally like, he don't even get up. Like, she was like, she had to go bring him food in there because he don't even get up to eat nothing. Like, she had to bring him food, she had to bring him water, like, she had to wash him up. Basically, like, he's crippled, but he's not. He just sleep like all the time. So, I'm like, I'm telling her, like, get up, try to, get up, go do something, y'all, go do a picnic or something. She like, he can't come outside. Every time he come outside, like, he's vomiting and he's nauseated, and we barely basically leave the porch once they step outside. So I'm like, well, you might need to hit the psychic and see what's going on. So she was like, she ended up, writing her, and she was like, only thing she did was put the spirit in the air. She can't control what it does. Or she was like, but basically he in love and don't want to leave. Isn't that what you asked for? And she was like, yeah, you right, that is, that's what I asked for. She was like, but nobody can see it. Like, we literally in his house all day sleep. Like, it had got to the point so bad where he lost his job, she lost her job, she lost her child. Like, she wasn't being able to take care of him because she's always sleeping. He's always sleeping. Like, out of 24 hours in a day, she probably would be up 2 hours. So, I'm like, maybe, you need to go to church or whatever. And she was like, well, I can't get him to go to church because he can't leave the house. Every time he leave the house, he's throwing up sick. So I'm like, okay, maybe you should have been careful what you asked for, because I was like, all these are different types of side effects. And I was like, just no way that over this time frame, he just all sleeping and losing everything because he's sleeping. He can't even come outside. Like, he can't even leave out the door past. But once he hit the porch, he's throwing up. So, I'm like, I don't know. Like, maybe you might need to check into this or whatever. So he ended up inviting his mom down. So when his mom get there, keep in mind. Oh, wait. I forgot a part. He had stopped basically going home to the baby mama, to the girlfriend. Like, she basically, like, he was staying with her. And keep in mind, that's so unusual because no matter how long they hung out, when they hung out, he always went back home with his girlfriend. Like, he literally stopped going with his girlfriend. He cut off connection with his kids, the baby mama. Like, he didn't have no job to send him nothing because he lost his job because he couldn't go because he was always asleep. So, the mama come down. Your mama do a wedding and shit. They coming out and check on their child, what I'm saying, see what's going on. Because at this point, the baby mama had reached out to the mama. Like, I don't even know where he at. Like, he ain't responding. Like, he ain't active on social media. He ain't sharing. He ain't posting nothing. He ain't getting fresh like he normally do. She was like, I don't know where he at. So the mama done came out here. So the mama, calls him one day. He answered, give it the address. Mom, with Misha, we together. We moved together, whatever. So the mama like, okay, I'm coming to visit. I'm coming, lay eyes on you. So the mama get there. He in the bed. So she thinking like, do you got the flu? You got COVID? You sick? You know what I'm saying? Like, she like, at this point, like, what's going on? So the mom was like, she walked in and instantly, she was like, she had no energy. She was like, basically, it felt like her body was just numb. Like, she had no energy. So, she trying to, she ain't had energy to eat or nothing. So, she was like, I'm going to stay at the hotel. The aura in here is off. I'm not really feeling it. You know what I'm saying? She was like, I'm just going to stay in the hotel, son. I'll be back in the morning, whatever. So at this point, the girlfriend is like, oh man, she finna find out. She start freaking out because she thinking the mama, finna know what she put a love spell on her son. So she don't know what to do. So, she's sitting there, she's trying to think of ways, it's his sinuses, he get real sick, around this time, whatever. And basically stuff like that. So, y'all, it gets so much crazier because the mama leaves the hotel, basically like to come visit her son, and he's basically drinking the girl Misha's pee, like drinking the pee, like he ain't ate and got up for water or nothing, but the mama come find him, catch him drinking the pee. Like it gets crazier, but I'm gonna finish this story. Y'all know we ain't got that long. We got that little 10 little minutes on TikTok, so I'll be back with the next part. Y'all stay tuned. Hey y'all, part 2. So the moms come back to the house from the hotel that she was staying in. So when she gets there, the son is in the bathroom in the hallway. So, she like, she walk in, hey son or whatever. She was like, he has the mouthwash cup or whatever, like, So she basically just looking at it like, he's gargling or whatever. So she goes back out. So she was like, she noticed he never spit nothing back out. So he goes back out the bathroom, go back into the room, and obviously, go to sleep. So she's looking for the little cup he had. She finds the cup under the sink behind the cleaning supplies. So she smells it because the urine is still in there. She smells it, and she's like, this is definitely old urine that basically she said smell like had been seen 5-6 days. So she go in there and bangs on the door. Misha, come help me get some seasonings. I'm finna cook us some dinner. So she tell Misha, something is wrong with my child. He's sick. We need to get him some help into the hospital fast. So Misha like, Miss Renee, what? She was like, it's nothing wrong. He's probably tired or whatever. She was like, no. He was in here gargling and never spit. So Misha just trying to throw it off because she don't want to have to tell the mom that she put the spell on him. So she was like, he probably was oil pulling. She was like, you still spit out the oil pulling. So she posed the urine basically in the sink, and Misha like, that's definitely pee. So she thinking that her son drinking his own pee, when actually Misha knows in her head that it's hers, because she was like, lately he had been telling her like, don't touch the flush handle, that's a man's job, and he'll flush it for her like all the time lately. So she was like, Miss Renee goes in there, get him up some jogging pants, telling her to, get him up, get him dressed, we finna take him to urgent care. So they get ready to leave. They get the porch. He is throwing up terribly, like to the point where he can't even move for real, like throwing up. So Misha like, no, we gotta get him back in the house. She was like, yeah, we're gonna call the ambulance. That's what the mama thinking, like, yeah, we're gonna call the ambulance. Misha like, no, he can't be out here. So they get him back in the house, and the mama's like calling 911. So Misha like hits the phone in her hand, and she's like, no, Miss Renee, I put a love spell on him. So Miss Renee is like laughing, like, girl, this is not the time for jokes right now. My son is sick for real. And she like, no, I'm serious. I connected with a psychic and I put a love spell on him. So the mama at this point, face goes blank, like terrified. Like she instantly starts saying the Lord's Prayer. So she hits Misha, like slap her down. So she's like, when I pulled up my first day here, she was like, I saw a shadow with claws and like almost like a witch hat. She was like standing right at the edge of y'all's door. And she said, I brushed it off as it was just a tree shadow. She was like, and when I proceeded to come up, she was like, it was no longer there. And she was like, all this time I'm thinking that it's just, my imagination. She was like, my aura in here is draining. And she was like, I feel completely tired and sick and worn out when I came here. You know what I'm saying? So the mom was like, this all makes sense. She was like, you need to get in contact with that psychic because she need to find you somebody in a higher ranking than her so we can reverse this thing for my baby. So Misha gets the phone. She's trying to find a psychic. She can't even find the messages for her and the baby. So obviously the lady deleted her and blocked her. But the thing about it, she deactivated her page because she looked from the mama phone, she looked from the boy phone. She could not find the psychic anywhere. So the mama is in there like, you know, whatever you gotta do, you need to find her, or you need to try to search up another psychic so we can get this thing reversed. So at this point, Misha was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So the mom was like, why would you ever do that? Why would you ever do that, Misha? So she was like, I just wanted somebody to love me like I loved him. She was like, I love your son. I love your son. And her mom was like, and you're killing him. So the mama, she done called Pastor Brian, Deacon Leroy, the 12 disciples, everybody. She on the prayer line. So she's sitting there. So Misha, you know, goes in there to check on him. He sleep. She touched his face, no reaction, nothing. So she goes in there and tell the mom, you know, well, he's sleeping now. So she was like, well, how long have he actually been sleeping? Y'all, this man had literally been asleep 22 hours out of a day for the past month and a half. At that point, she tells the mom that, the mom instantly just goes in a rage and slap her. He instantly wakes up, walks in the kitchen. No facial expression, nothing. Gets a knife and starts stabbing his mother literally to death. So Misha is trying to push him like, that's your mom, 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 stop. No, you know, she's screaming at a frantic panic. And he literally is just no blank face. He goes back in bloody clothes, get back in the bed. So Misha comes in there and sits beside him, and she basically, you know, tell him, hey, I put the love spell on you. This is why you're acting this way, but I want you to come back now. She was like, I'm trying to do everything I can for you basically to come back. He looks at her, and she said his eyes. She said she never seen his eyes turn that red. She was like, it was worse than sinus eyes. She was like, his eyes turned completely red. And she was like, he literally takes the knife and pull it towards her. And she's crying and begging and pleading him. And she's praying, you know, basically asking him, like, you know, she have a child, everything. So he was like, am I going to jail? She said with no expression on his face. And she was like, probably, most likely. You know, she was like, most likely you are. So he said, so I'm never going to be able to be with you or see you again? She was like, I'll come visit you. He literally takes the knife and stabs himself in the temple. Dead. And she was like, instantly, it's like a wind rushed through her house. Like, rushed through her house and went straight through a window. Literally broke through the window. She was like, it was a wind just whoosh, went straight through her window. And she was like, she hurried up and runs out of the house. She called the police or whatever. And unfortunately, his mom and him, they both passed away. And, you know, his kids hadn't seen him in about a month and a half. Basically, since she did it, they hadn't seen him, heard from him, anything. And that'd be the first time seeing him in a month and a half was at his funeral. Like, y'all leave that stuff alone. Like, if they don't want you, somebody wants you. Like, the person that God designed to want you will want you. Leave that stuff alone. Because that stuff literally comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Leave that stuff alone. Like, for real. And to this day, my friend still is in the psych ward. I take her flowers and stuff every now and then, but she's literally in the psych ward, and the only thing that she can't even remember vividly is when he unalived her. Unalived his mom and him. That's it. Like it's sad. She's like basically a couch potato that keep reliving the same day over and over and over. And the crazy thing is, the day before she got admitted to the psych ward, the psychic pops back up on her phone asking, "How was that love spell going, darling?" She knew.
Okay, so now that y'all seen that, let's talk about it. And before we talk about it, as always, let me say this because it's always somebody in the comments. But y'all did good on the last video. Let's be respectful. I would think this is common sense, but it's obviously not, even to adults. Let's be respectful of everybody's spiritual / religious / cultural beliefs, okay? Please do not get on my videos trying to spiritually / religiously condemn somebody, okay? Please understand that, and please be more open-minded to understand that not everybody grew up Christian. Not everybody grew up Muslim. Not everybody grew up free spirited. You know what I mean? Like, just be respectful and mindful. Like, I'm very open. I'm a very open person. I don't allow any type of like spiritual bullying because it's still bullying. I don't care if you put God's name in front of it. It's still bullying and it's low vibrational. I don't allow any low vibrational type of energy on my channel. We don't do that here because we are using other people's content to learn from it. So we're not going to judge the people telling the story, try to condemn other people. Like you are God walking around yourself. Like when we all have sinned, whatever you want to call it, made mistakes, learn from them, etc. That's why we're here, to learn and grow from it. So don't think you're holier than thou and try to condemn somebody else. Like, I do not like that, okay? And you will get removed from the channel, especially if I see you continue to do it, okay? I might warn you at first, but if I see you continue to do it, I'll remove you from the channel because you are not God walking around here telling people what they can and cannot do. You can say things based off of your religious beliefs. That's fine. That's totally respectable, but don't try to condemn somebody else when everybody just simply does not have those same beliefs, okay? Pretty simple. I would think everybody would understand that, but people obviously do not, okay? So with that being said, y'all know my number one goal on this channel has always been to help spiritual health, and that's why I'm glad we're on this whole era of like witchcraft, spells, spooky stories, etc., because it's very, very important, especially with Halloween coming up. With some of the things I've heard goes on during Halloween, Hallows Eve. It's very important to be spiritually protected, okay? Be spiritually protected over yourself, spiritually protect your family, your friends, your children. As you heard on the last story, your children, protect your children, because you never know. It might be a fan crazed out female or fan crazed out male that really wants your child that bad to the point they go to those extents of doing it, okay? And if they are not spiritually protected, they might be affected. There are people who have had work tried to be done on them, but it was not successful because they are spiritually guarded, they are spiritually protected. I've said this before on this channel, but there is a celebrity witch. I think she was on the Tasha K interview, but I don't know if this is where she said it or not. But there was a celebrity witch who went around and said, we can't do spell work on just anybody because you see that they are spiritually protected. So if they are spiritually protected, it means that like they can put on some 3D spiritual glasses. Just imagine putting on some 3D glasses and then you have your aim, right? And you see that there is a blockage in front of that person of like big, spirit guides in front of that person. They're like, obviously I can't aim there. That aim is blocked. So I'm going to aim over here. I'm going to aim over there. That is how you want to be dealing with the spiritual world. It does not matter if you believe in it or you do not believe in it. The spiritual world still exists, whether you believe in it or not, okay? And it can affect your loved ones, friends, partner, etc. So you definitely want to be spiritually protected. So that's how you want to be. How can you spiritually protect yourself? Depends on your spiritual beliefs, depends on your religious beliefs. And you'll probably want to go to, if you're more religious, you'll probably want to go to a religious leader to ask how to become spiritually protected, because depending on your beliefs, you might have to do different things. Me personally, I'm not a religious person. I am more of a spiritual person. So I do things to spiritually protect myself, such as I'm always praying. I meditate. I cleanse myself. I often go on a fast to spiritually cleanse myself. I took a spiritual bath just not too long ago. It might be due for another one when I think about it, but I will take a spiritual bath. Like, it's just certain things I'll do, and you don't have to. And I've seen somebody in the comments before on one of my videos talking about fasting, and they was just comparing fasting only to the Daniel fast. Listen, again, it depends on your religious beliefs, but don't think that fasting just means one thing. Oh, I have to fast for 20 days or 21 days or 40 days, whatever. No, it depends. You make fasting personal to you. I have done fast for like a week, 7 days, no meat. I have done 30 days of no social media. I have done fast of like 3. I think my last one was my last one a month? Yeah, my most recent fast was a month. It was a month of just fruits and vegetables, y'all, of no junk food, no nothing like that. That was for 30 days. I was trying to manifest something big, which I was able to do, which is a blessing. But fasting, okay, you make fasting personal to you. Now, again, if you are a specific religious person, then you might have to like go to religious leaders to go to what is in alignment with your belief system. But me, like I said, I'm more of a spiritual person, so I will listen to my body, I'll listen to my spirit guides and see what I need to do. At times that I know I need a spiritual fast, I'll listen to within, and I will. Like I was trying to manifest something big for a while, right? And I was like, dang, I'm not manifesting it. Why am I not successful in this? And I had to tune within. I went on a fast, I went on a spiritual bath, and then boom, was able to manifest it. You know what I mean? I had to cleanse myself. You never know what energy is coming to attack you. It could be your best friend. Like, the best friend you think you have, it could be them behind your back wishing bad up on you. Like, maybe you manifested something that they really wanted and they wasn't able to do it, so they can be sending negative energy towards you. So again, it's important to like fast and be spiritually protected over you, your family, your children. Okay, so be spiritually protected, y'all. And when it comes to love, please do not do something low vibrational, like put a love spell on somebody. Do not force anybody to love you against their will. Please do not do that. If you want to believe in any type of like magic at all, okay, I would recommend that you follow the law of attraction and manifest. Okay, that's in a way people say is magic. Okay, it's basically having faith and believing something's going to happen without any type of limitations. Like, if I say tomorrow I'm going to get $20 in the mail, it means nothing stopping that belief from me getting $20 in the mail, and I'm just ready to receive it. Nothing can stop my doubt from that, and then tomorrow comes, I'm going to receive that $20, okay? That's kind of how manifesting is. Some people do long-term goals of like being debt-free, manifesting a house, manifesting a partner, manifesting their dream car, like their dream lives. People do this all the time. They make the vision boards. They do all of that, okay? So if you want to do anything, I would recommend that you do the law of attraction, manifesting, doing it healthy and proper. It's not forcing anyone or anything against its will. It's just manifesting your life, envisioning your life, and placing a certain reality for your life to happen. I told this before on my channel, if you follow me, that I manifested my person after having a repetition of failed relationship, low vibrational relationships that put me in a low vibration. I was able to manifest my person finally when I done the inner work, and I manifested exactly everything I wrote down, which is again in this journal. Well, I have 2 of them. This is my newer one. It's not this one, but it looks like this one. It's in my closet. In my journal, I wrote down every specific thing that I wanted in a partner, y'all, and then I ended up manifesting that partner like a month later. I want to say I met him a month later, but I didn't have no doubts. And I also didn't have a time limit. I was like, I know that it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. And then boom, it happened. That is also on my personal channel, detail for detail. I will link that in the comments below if you're interested. It's called How I Manifested My Fiance. And that goes in detail. So if you're actually wanting to manifest your person, which I wouldn't recommend manifesting a specific person, because if they're not meant to be with you, you don't want to force that to come about. You want to manifest your person, the person who is meant for you. You have to let go of control for that, okay? And it requires some inner work, but it can be done. That is on my personal channel as well. So I'll link that in comments below. But I don't want to make this commentary too long. Y'all let me know what y'all think about love spells. Have you ever had a love spell done on you? Do you think you currently have a love spell? Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all on the next one.